Hey everybody, welcome again to another lesson. So we're looking at today is solving systems of linear equations by graphing. And graphing, of course, is going to mean that we are going to have a graph. So we're going to work through that a little bit. What we want to do is start out by looking at how are we going to graph these things. So last time we were looking at if we already had a coordinate, how could we plug it into a system of linear equations in order to graph it, or in order to see if it was a solution or not. So this one we want to figure out what is that coordinate so that we know it's a solution. So by graphing, we're trying to look for the place where they intersect. So to graph it, what we have to do is start by getting it into y equals mx plus b form. So we have 2y plus 4x equals 12, and 2x minus y equals negative 10. So that's our system because we've got 2 or more. So we're going to subtract 4x from both sides so that we get y by itself. So 2y equals negative 4x plus 12. And then divide by 2 on both sides to get that y by itself. So y equals negative 2x plus 6. That's kind of a review for you. If you need more help with that, please let me know in class so I can help you out with that graphing piece and that solving for the equations piece. So I'm going to go ahead and graph this right now. So to do that, we start with our y-intercept, so that's 6. So up 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's right there, that red dot. And since it's a negative, that means we're going down 2 to the right 1. So remember, rise over run, down 2, right 1. And we're going to do a graph, or we're going to do a line here. So let me pull out my line. And that did not work. Alright, got it fixed there for you. So let me pull out my line. So I've got my line. And we're going to draw this line in, coming straight down here like that. And I'll put an arrow on this side because I don't have one. So I've got an arrow there for you. And we'll look at our second one. So there's our first line. To do that, we need to get y by itself again. So we're going to subtract 2x from both sides. So we have negative y equals negative 2x minus 10. And then from there, we're going to divide by negative 1, or you could multiply by negative 1. Doesn't really matter. So that we have y equals 2x plus 10. So remember that changes the signs on everything. So we're going to start up at positive 10, which is our y-intercept. So that's up here at positive 10, right here. And because we've got a slope of 2, we're going to be going down to left 1, down to left 1, because it's a negative positive this time. So, and that will give us our cross. And that cross is actually going to be, if I get my black line here drawn correctly, so that should go up there like that, and like that. So what happens is we get this crossing point right here at this blue dot, which is at negative 1, 8. And that solution, that point is our solution. Just to check it, make sure you go back and plug it in. So plugging it in for our first equation, the negative 1 goes in for x. So negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. Positive 2 plus 6 gives us 8, which is what we wanted. For our second equation, plugging it in for x. So negative 1 times 2 gives us negative 2 plus 10 is also 8. So that works out. So that's our solution to it. Negative 1, 8. So let's look at another one. What I want you to do is I'm going to pause it here for a second. I want you to pause it. And I'm going to go through and solve it. So I want you to try it on your own and see how you do compared to what you get. So go ahead and pause the recording. All right. So having done this, you should have gotten 2, negative 1 as your solution. So what happens on the first one is I try to get y by itself. So subtracted 4 from each side, divided by 2, and y equals negative 2x plus 3. Second one, subtracted 3x from each side, and divided by negative 3 to get y equals 1x minus 3. So graphing the first one, starting up at 3, so up here at 3, and you go down 2 to the right 1 for your slope. So a negative slope, down 2, right 1. And for our second one, so we have starting down at negative 3, so we're starting down here at negative 3. With a slope of positive 1, you're going up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. And you can see that these two intersect right here at 2, negative 1. Now make sure you go back and check those out. So for the first equation, y equals negative 2x plus 3, you'd have negative 2 times 2, which would give you negative 4, plus the 3 gives you negative 1, so that works. And the second one, 1 times positive 2 would give you 2, minus 3 also gives you negative 1, so that also works. All right, so we'll see you in class, and have a good night.